Welcome back, tribe. I have an episode here simply titled Dating is Hard, another small channel. Let's see. What is going on the women's side, apparently?
For those who don't know me, my name is Dell. I'm 24 years old and I live in the middle of nowhere, aka the middle of Wisconsin. And if you've been here for a while, welcome back. I'm so happy to have you here again. Today, I wanted to sit down and talk to you guys about how dating is hard. I made a video in the past called The Struggles of Dating as an Introvert, and that video got quite a few views for a channel my size. I think it's at like 72,000 views or something like that, which is so unbelievable. In my Struggles of Dating as an Introvert video, I just sat down and I told you guys a bit about my experience with dating as an introvert. Although I should have explained this in that video, I do feel like there is an element of social anxiety that kind of ties into all of this for me. I get really anxious about dating. Dating is hard for me, and I'm also very introverted, so I tend to spend a lot of time on my own. Overall, that video got mostly a positive response. I'm able to look in the YouTube studio and see the analytics on it, and I think it was like 97% or 98% positive responses from people, which, that's great. But there were definitely some people who were angry and bitter at me just for being a woman, pretty much. I had grown men calling me just about any terrible thing you can think of. They were making up all these narratives about my life and about me as a person and what kind of a past I've had. Meanwhile, they've never met me. They don't know anything about me. And it's just so crazy how people online can do this stuff. It's almost like these people forget when they see people on YouTube and leave comments that these are real people. And they wouldn't say this kind of stuff to your face. They just like to hide in the comments and be typing up their hate messages. All that I did in that video was I just explained my experience with dating as an introvert, and I was...
Any YouTuber, listen to me. Say what you say. Don't fucking apologize. There are weirdos. You will never get accepted. Santa Claus doesn't fucking get accepted by every kid he gives a gift to because he didn't give them the right gift. You will never have 100% approval from everybody. Fuck what people's opinions are of you. Make your content. I wasted 2 minutes of her defending herself. Let's get into the hard part. Come on.
A liar. I was told I was making this all up for attention, which is not true. I had men saying how it's okay.
Yes, there's weirdos on the internet. Yes, they haven't touched a piece of pussy in like fucking forever, if ever at all. Yeah, they're fucking bitter and burnt at women because they got rejected. We know they're out there. Duh. Come on.
For women to be introverted and how that won't affect them dating. Well, it hasn't been my experience. I have people saying that it's desirable for a woman to be this way, but desirable to who? That has not been my experience. If anything, it's the reason why dating is so hard for me, or at least it's a big part of it. I live in Wisconsin, and people who don't live here probably don't realize just how big of a thing drinking and partying is here. Literally, everybody, it seems like, just wants to drink constantly. They're always going to the bars, getting drunk every weekend. Some people, pretty much every night, and that is not an exaggeration. Because of the fact that I don't drink, I'm seen as boring to the majority of the people who live here. I'm not...
That's true, because the guys she's dealing with are low value. If she's got good qualities in the sense that she's introverted, so doesn't care about all that flashy bullshit going out and socializing with the wrong people, and 2, doesn't drink alcohol, which already as a young person puts a lot of pressure on you, peer pressure to partake, because people can't handle going out without getting absolutely wasted because of all their insecurities. You need the liquid courage. So yeah, it's true that in her case, if you're this kind of girl and the guys you're interested in will look at you and be like, you don't even drink, right? Ugh, boring. Like they're trying to get their fucking willies wet by that chick that looks like, the Instagram look. Huge tits, fat ass, small waist, face done up, all that shit. Like these chicks that are doing acrobatics in the bedroom of every single guy they're meeting on day one, essentially. You take a weirdo like this, and I mean that in a good way, but an introverted weirdo that hardly ever goes out, gets stressed out about going on a date, doesn't partake in alcohol or probably some other drugs, whatever, that people would like you to use in public because it makes them feel better about themselves. You do have a mismatch when it comes to dating. It's not easy to be an introvert in a society that basically pressures you to be extroverted to ever get anything you want in life. Introverts are already seen as weird. What are you going to do? Stay at home and bake a fucking cake? Your idea of a fun time is like sitting at home and watching Netflix in a blanket? Like that shit just not attractive to most people. Although there are introverts, it's hard to find them because they're always in their house. You see?
Exaggerating this is how it is in Wisconsin. I have been rejected for that reason. I've been called boring. I'm boring, okay? That's what people think here. I mean, I know I'm not a boring person, but not drinking here automatically makes you boring, apparently. I'm introverted. I recharge my battery by spending time alone. I know for extroverts, it's the opposite. You gain energy by being around others. And for me, that drains my battery, so I have to take time alone to recharge. So I'm very introverted. I spend, like I said, a lot of time alone. I'm fine with that. I like being able to work on my own stuff. And I also do have some social anxiety, especially when it comes to dating. And this is a me problem. I'm not saying that I couldn't find someone.
It's just a problem with the perspective and perception today. The guys that'll leave her bad comments or guys watching this video might be thinking the same or thinking it doesn't matter. Perspective is this and perception. You look at her and you imbue her with the characteristics of the women that have rejected you in the past or the behavior of the women that you've seen from afar and what they're doing. And you think all women must be this way. And so you build up in your mind a kind of expectation of what most women are like. So when you do come across, say, a weird one that really does not like to be social butterfly, does not like to spend time like drinking out, getting absolutely blasted like all the chicks in college, for example, the sorority girls, and, would be considered a boring, would be considered a lame, nobody wants to hang out with them. It's hard to find those people because they basically hide themselves. And when you come across them, they're so different that they're basically invisible to you. And if you do even come across one, you just automatically assume that they're like everyone else because that's all you're running into. If you're a dude that's constantly using dating apps or constantly going out to bars or nightclubs or hanging out at sorority parties and whatnot, you are exposed to a very certain kind of woman. And when you come across something different, you can't even recognize that it's different because all the women you've ever met behave in a certain way. This goes for women too. You ever notice how women say all men are assholes? Do you know why they say that? We know that as men because all they see are assholes. All they talk to are assholes. All they give attention to are the assholes. Those are the guys, the alphas, the jocks, the fucking muscle-bound dudes, the sleeve tattoos, the street dudes, the whatever it is, those top percentile men is all they see. The rest are invisible. You see men do the same thing, but in their own way. So for women, when they say all that stupid shit that you hear them say online, like all men are this, all men are that, no man is this, it's hard to find a decent man, this and that. It sounds like shit to everyone watching because it's like you can't even relate to what they're saying. Look at how many decent men there are out here. Look at all this. But when you start to say guys that's like 6'5" looks like Thor, where are these nice guys that are 6'4" and looking like a Greek god? Where are these nice guys that are like Brad Pitt but will treat me with respect? Where are these? Then when you put that asterisk on there of if he's hot, then it starts to make sense. But guys are doing the same thing. It's crazy that we got here. But so many people are lost in this perspective and perception conundrum because of social media. Social media is the biggest disruptor of your perspective and perception. It's insane what social media has done to people. Like being terminally online, essentially. That's why when you actually go do the thing that they say, like touch grass and go talk to people and like maybe day game or just have a conversation with people in person, it's like so much more pleasant than you would have expected. You have a much higher success rate of getting a date. It's so different than online dating and talking to people online in general. People behave differently in person, completely differently, man. It changes completely. And that's an understatement. So many guys have success chatting a girl up in person versus online where you can get like no matches. And you'll start to see that people are so different. Everybody's craving for connection, but we're tainted. We have like this shit stained glasses from all the time we spend online. Literally, we're bombarded with like negative content constantly.
Take accountability for this. I take accountability for my own actions and the way that I am. And I know a lot of this is my own fault. A lot of the reason I'm alone is my own fault because I'm introverted, which makes me, not feel inclined to leave my house a lot.
I take accountability. Rare to hear.
Combined with the anxiety of dating, is a pretty bad combination for finding someone. And where I live, there's just not a ton of activities to do in general where you can meet people, it seems like. Because, like I said, the main event is the bars, and I don't go there. As an introvert, my biggest nightmare. Also, I just don't drink. I don't plan to drink. That's just not who I am. So that's another big part of why it's hard for me to meet people because where I live, I don't know where to go to meet people. And maybe I just need to get out of this town. Maybe I just need to leave Wisconsin. And, I hope to someday. But right now, financially, I'm just not in a place where I can leave. But maybe after school, I can get out of here. Maybe people other places are more open-minded to people like me. If you live in Wisconsin, you know what I'm talking about. A lot of the people in my comments, they're not from Wisconsin. A lot of these people are from across the country or even across the world leaving these comments. So if you're not from here, you probably don't understand. You probably don't get it. But people who do live here, I know you get what I'm saying. Also, it seems like people are wanting an instant connection with people right away. Like people come into these dates with high expectations, it seems like.
That's true.
And me, I talked about this in my dating as an introvert video. I struggle to open up to people at first. For me, for some reason, it takes me a while to feel comfortable to show my true self. So on a first date, I come across as shy, maybe a bit quiet. I just have a hard time being my true self. And then, if the instant connection doesn't happen, then the person lose interest right away and they never got to know the real me. I know I have a lot to offer someone, but
That's a genuine concern there. That's real. And that happens to guys too. Like you're maybe too nervous or too shy and too insecure to really let a woman know how you feel about her, or, how excited you are for the date, or maybe some hobbies that you have, things that genuinely interest you because you're afraid to come off weird or something like that. And so you're basically a shell. And what happens is you go on this date with this chick and then she thinks you're not interested because you don't seem to be showing any interest in her or the date, but it couldn't be further from the truth because you're super excited. You're just nervous and you don't open up that well because you're introverted and awkward, and boom, the date ends. She basically stops responding to your messages. You're wondering what the hell you did wrong this time. You were so excited. Oh, you messed up somehow, blah, blah. And then you repeat this loop over and over again. This is real for introverted people. So I understand completely. It makes sense.
But people just don't get to see that at first because, I'm not given enough time. That's an issue that I've had. And like I said, this is somewhat my fault. I need to find a way to become more social, to become more comfortable opening up to people, or else I don't think I'm going to find anyone. And I know, this is a lot to do with me. I have work to do. I know this. Also, before some of you guys lurk and start,
That's another problem of the degeneracy of the West, man. The fast expectations, like day one, it needs to be absolutely Disney level perfect. Day one, she's got to be doing acrobatics on my meat pole. She's got to be so into me, or else it's just a complete waste of time. It's gotten so ridiculous. And, a lot of people will bail on a decent prospect, both men and women, just because it's a slow burner and it starts a little slow, but it could build into a massive fire, a massive cauldron. But you don't give it the shot it needs, and you don't foster it. You don't feed it the coals. Why? Because you're used to instant gratification. If you don't have it in the world today, it's might as well dead. You might as well consider that shit over with. It's sad that that's the state that we're in. People don't take time to vet each other, take time to build connections anymore. Either we have absolute lust in the get-go, or this is a dud. All or nothing thinking. And they wonder why they're so, they struggle so much to build intimacy, to find love.
Do any little comments? I am not going after the Chads like you keep saying. And before I made the dating as an introvert video, I didn't know anyone uses the term Chad seriously. I thought Chad was pretty much just a meme, but apparently there are people who use the term Chad seriously, and that was kind of surprising. I didn't know that was a thing, but I am not going after these Chads. I am not going after these super rich guys. In my relationships, you want to know what? I was the one making the most money, and I was okay with that. Second, I haven't been going after super muscular men. I am not going after the top whatever percentage of men. I've never done that. So honestly, the description that you guys give of Chads is actually disgusting to me. I don't want to be with some arrogant guy who thinks he's so great and just goes after all of these women and wants to be with so many women. Ew, that is repulsing. That is the exact opposite of what I want. And if I see someone showing that behavior, get out of my sight. I don't want anything to do with you. Ew. And I'm not trying to say anything bad about the people I've dated in the past, but they were not Chads, okay? And I've had people commenting, well, just find someone online. But that's hard too, because that goes along with the whole not knowing what to expect thing, which is something that I also talked about in my dating as an introvert video. Going out and meeting someone in real life is more difficult, but meeting someone online and then going to meet up with them in person is 100 times worse for my anxiety. And also online dating, it's not always safe. Also, dating apps suck. I hate them. I just want to be done with them. It's like you're shopping for a partner, and that's just such a weird concept. And I feel like the people on dating apps, a lot of them, either they're not looking for something serious or they will lie and say that they are when in reality they're not, and they just waste your time. I know that's a thing that happens. And then meeting up with a stranger, bad for the anxiety. Also, all the hate comments that I got from bitter men just prove a big point that I made in my dating as an introvert video, that today a lot of men and a lot of women like to blame the opposite gender for their problems. So you've got women who had bad experiences with men and they're like, oh, I hate all men. All men are terrible. It's all their fault, yada, yada, yada. And then you also got men who blame women for all of their problems. Like, oh, women are so terrible. I hate women. Everything is women as a whole's fault. And that is not logical, okay? We're all our own individual people, and you can't just group a gender in with each other. That is not right. It doesn't make sense. Stop blaming the opposite gender for your problems, okay? It's not helping you. It's not helping anyone. Like, what is up with this trend? I see it all the time online, too, and it's just crazy. Just because you had a bad experience with a woman or multiple women, just like for a woman, you had bad experiences with a man or multiple men, that does not mean that the opposite gender as a whole is bad. We're not all the same. We're our own individual people. It's not logical, and it needs to stop. It's honestly sad. I'm taking accountability for my dating problems. I know a lot of it is my own fault, and I need to work through.
Yeah, I'm curious what the boys are going to say on this, because she's saying a lot of good things, taking accountability. They say that's like oil and water for women. But I'm curious, when you come across one of these introverts, people not going with the grain, living lives on their own term, in a sense. She knows she's got problems, working on them, is self-aware enough to have conversations like this out loud, ballsy enough to put it on YouTube, and taking the beating in the comment section by people terminally online and shit, where they're completely delusional with what the real world is like. Okay.
Through some things. I need to stop letting the fact that I'm introverted and anxious stop me from taking chances. I need to find a way to put myself out there and just get out of my own head. I'm not blaming men for this. I've done this. I know a lot of this has to do with me. And that is what my dating as an introvert video was about. It was about the struggles of dating as an introvert, because it brings its own unique challenges, like the fact that when you're an introvert, you like spending time alone. You might not be as inclined to want to go to bars and go out partying. And, when you stay at home a lot, it's harder to meet someone. That was what the video was about.
Yeah, and so she's just defending herself because obviously she got ripped there. We want to read those comments. I'd rather be a boring person than an alcoholic. Dating is hard because people are broken. I'm 31, so I have never had a date because all girls told me they don't want to date me. It's literally never been easier for women to date than it is now. That's what this guy's saying. If you think dating is hard, try being an introverted guy. You'll enjoy being invisible to women every single day of your life, when no one sees you even exist, no matter how hard you try. That's true. That's true. Okay, let's see. If you ever sort by like newest, they're always the worst, most terminally online. Let's see. Here's that video she was referencing, dating as an
everyone.
Introvert. All right, let's see. Try being an introvert average guy next to invisible. This the guy right here. This the guy.
Hi, everyone.
Let's continue. It's so sad because there's so many of us out there that are good for each other, but we just never meet. As a single introverted man who also doesn't drink or party and values meaningful connections with people, I'm glad to see there are like-minded women out there. As I said, yes, as an introvert guy, you're invisible. You could stand next to a brick wall and people walking past you don't even notice. You have absolutely no idea how extremely difficult dating is for men nowadays, let alone an introvert. Try being a male introvert. I gave up trying to find a wife years ago, and I'm only in my 30s. Online dating was torture as it sent me down a depression spiral, self-hate, and despair like nothing else ever has. Be thankful you're a young female. At least men will attempt to get to know you, even if all they want is sex. At least you're wanted and valued for something. Most of us guys will die alone, and there's nothing we can do about it. Oh my God, bro, touch fucking grass. As a 24-year-old woman in America, your life will never be easier than it is right now. And the easiest thing you could possibly do is date men. In your life, you have more than 11,000 days in a row, 30 years, to accept any of the tens of thousands or more of men who will directly beg for your approval and beg to take good care of you for the rest of your life and give you everything you could dream of. Men don't even get 1 minute of this experience in their entire lives. I don't know what you could possibly be struggling with, wench. You're hit on constantly, and your life is made easier by every man you meet in any setting, whether it's holding the door for you or just a stranger smiling. Again, men never experience this. Hard to feel bad for a very pretty girl talking about how hard dating is. I'm a short and ugly guy. It's nearly impossible for me, despite being an outgoing extrovert. I hate sounding like a loser, but it is what it is. I'm 35 my whole life, and I mean whole life. I've been rejected somewhere around middle school. I kind of just got to the point and I kind of just learned not to say anything to girls. Does it hurt? Fuck yeah, it hurts. A deep hurt. But after years and years of wondering why, I've came to the conclusion that love is only meant for some people. I don't know why yet. You know what my life feels like? I feel like I'm at a train station and waiting for death to come, ready to leave. God, Jesus Christ. Can you fucking all of you touch grass? Oh my God, bro. This is what happens when men put women at the fucking forefront of their entire lives. Live an interesting life, bro. Go fucking travel the world. Go try starting a side hustle. Go learn some hobbies that you really enjoy. And if you meet a woman along the way, great. Make some valuable friends with guys. Go into combat sports. Fucking hit something. Get your energy out. Women are fucking irrelevant when you're chasing after your dreams that you really have a passion for. And eventually a woman comes along that fits in your life like a fucking piece of a puzzle. That's what happens. Guys are trying to go woman first, everything else later. And then they get into this fucking state of mentality. It's disgusting. Seriously, some of this shit sounds so fucking terminal, bro. Get your fucking passport and go get your beak wet overseas then. It only costs you $50 fucking if you're that desperate. My God. When the fuck did men get obsessed with women so much that they fucking basically run your entire life? Dude, like the older guys I've been telling you, shit is fucking overrated. Go buy a dog. Go live your life, dude. Go get a camper and do fucking van life. Make YouTube videos traveling all around your country. Go across the states everywhere. Do 50 states in fucking 50 days if you wanted. Jesus, something interesting, anything, bro. That's the problem with social media and this shit. People get confirmation bias, bro. And then you're taken down the rabbit hole because the AI, the algorithm knows what the fuck you like to watch or what you're paying attention to. So you get fed more extreme content, more radical shit that confirms your bias even more, that builds your bias. And then you're like, oh, fuck, I knew it was like this. More content. Oh, it's even worse than I thought. Oh my God, I'm never going to get involved in this shit. And it makes you depressed like that guy says. Online dating apps themselves are absolute dog shit. Go meet people in person while you do the things you love to do. Unbelievable, bro. We're just making shit harder on ourselves. Anyways, we'll see you guys on the next one. Take care of yourself. Stop fucking. It's like the women say, decentering men. Decenter women from your life. Bro, make yourself interesting. Make your own life happy. Find your own passion and purpose. Stop making women your passion and your purpose. That's the problem. You're fixating on something that's irrelevant. Another person will never make you happy. Believe me. Period. You have to make yourself happy first. We'll see you guys on the next one. Take care, boys. Literally, though, take care of yourselves.